Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Another month has bitten the dust. I say that, I feel like every other day, but such is life, that's how it goes. And I have accumulated some favorites when it comes to beauty. And I do only have beauty this month. I have skincare, makeup, and fragrance. So let's jump right in. I will start out with a couple of skincare favorites. This one is one that I have actually had for a little over a month. I have been using it, alternating it with my cleansing oils, but I wasn't able to talk about it until it launched, which was on June 1st. And this is the Clarity RX Balm It Off Nutrient Rich Pre-Cleanse. Now, if you have watched any of my skincare videos, my exfoliation videos, you know that Clarity RX is quickly becoming a favorite skincare brand of mine because they are very accessible in the way that I feel like they are more affordable than some of the other skincare brands that I personally love. They have pretty much everything you will need in a routine, and they are more, and I don't want this to sound like a negative thing, but they're more simplistic in their formulas. You don't have 500 ingredients on the Inky list that you have to read through. You can pretty much pronounce everything. It is marketed as more of like a clean medical grade line, meaning you can get it in like dermatologist's office. I get all of my Clarity from Harbin House, and Clarity did send this to me again before it launched for me to test it out. And I was like, sure, I'll try it. But if y'all have watched any of my videos, you know that I do prefer a cleansing oil as a whole to a balm because in the past, balms have been very comedogenic to me. They tend to break me out. Sometimes I never really feel like I can get all of the balm off of my face as I am washing. I don't have that issue at all with this. I actually really enjoy this. I can put it all over my eyes. I don't get that film. I can open my eyes with the balm on it and I don't feel like it's fuzzy. Very easy to rinse off, doesn't leave a film, really like it. So if you prefer a balm cleanser, I think this is definitely one to check out. I will be doing a kind of Clarity specific Instagram post soon where I show some of my favorites, but I've talked a lot. I love their lactic acid toner. I love their masks. I love their neck serum. And now I'm going to add this nutrient-rich pre-cleanse Balm It Off to my list of things that I love from the brand. Now, this was another thing that was sent to me this past month. This is from Glow Skin Beauty, and this is the Protect and Prevent C Shield Anti-Pollution Drops. So this is a 15% vitamin C and glutathione protecting serum. So this has 3-O-ethyl exorbic acid. So this is not the L-exorbic acid in its purest form. I do not use this in the morning. I have been actually using this at night because I really like the addition of glutathione, which is a tripeptide, smooths and brightens, and I don't see it in a ton of skincare products. I think Osmosis has something that has glutathione in it, but I can't really use a lot of Osmosis products. And I have been liking this again at night. Now, I only use it at night when I use my Medicate retinaldehyde. I find that even though it's a vitamin C derivative, it can be a little too much when combined with my tretinoin cream. So when I use my retinaldehyde, I do feel like it's not too much, and I like the addition to the glutathione. I like the way this feels on the skin. It has not irritated me in any way. So I'm enjoying it. I have not used it enough to see if it does like insane things to my skin, but I did want to mention it because I wanted to let y'all know that I have added it into some of my nights and that so far I'm enjoying it. If you can't use Osmosis, or if you're wanting to look at something that has glutathione in it and maybe a different form of vitamin C, then this is definitely something to look into. Now let's head into makeup. I don't have a ton of makeup products, but I have a few, and we'll start with Complexion. This has quite literally been the month of skin tints for me. However, I'm not going to talk about skin tints in this video because I'm doing a separate one that should be up in a week or so, where I'm going to be talking about all the skin tints that I've been loving lately. I'm going to show you how I apply them. I'm going to tell you how they're different and which ones I suggest for who. So I didn't want anything to be too incredibly repetitive. However, on the few days that I have wanted to have something more full coverage, where I have wanted to put on more makeup, this is the combo that I have been using, and I will likely use this in my next video as well, where I'm going to get ready and show you how it applies. But this is a combination very similar to the one that I used, or to one of the ones that I used in my 3 base combos for flawless skin. I think that was the video. I'll put a card up for it. But it is the Chanel Ultra Le Tint All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. And then in that video, I included the Lila B bronzing drops, the glow oil. Still love that. But I have since purchased and started using the Chanel Le Beige Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid in Sunkissed. So I do believe this is the darker of the two shades. If I'm wrong, I will put that on the screen. But I love this product. So I put 2 pumps of this, 1 pump of this, mix it together, and this is the combination that you see on my face right now. It does give full coverage. I find the Chanel to be a full coverage product. It is a little more mattifying on its own. That's why I like to add a little bit of an illuminator in with it, because it gives just the perfect amount of luminosity without being too dewy, and it stays all day long. I think that is the most important thing to know about this foundation in particular, that it just does not budge. I can put it on and wear it for 16 to 18 hours and not have any issue with it coming off, even when I mix something in with it. So this just happened to be my mixture of choice this month when I'm not wearing a skin tint, because it does just provide a very flawless, full coverage, not too dewy, not too matte foundation base. I talked about these in my Playing with New Makeup video this month, I believe, and these are the new Persona Cosmetics Blush Multi-Stick. So obviously they can be used on the lips, they can be used on the cheeks, and I have been absolutely loving these. And I swatched them in that video, but in case you missed it, there is Teddy, which is this really nice, very neutral shade. If you are very fair skin toned, you could even wear this as a bronzer. There is Bubble, which is very similar to their pressed powder blush in Bubble, a very vibrant, almost hot Barbie pink. And then Kiss, which is more of a warmer red tone, which is great for the lips. And also if you have a deeper skin tone, it's very beautiful on that. I have been loving probably Teddy and Bubble the most, just because I'm not big on red lips and I don't have a skin tone that it will work as a blush as well. You can definitely sheer these out and it can work. I just haven't been using Kiss as much as Teddy and Bubble. They just look so beautiful on the skin. And of course, I powdered my face today before I remembered to use it, but I had every intention of using Teddy. I wore it the past 2 days. And when I wear more cool tone looks, if I have maybe more of a pink or purple eye going on, or if I don't have any eyeshadow and I just want a really nice pop of color, I feel like Bubble is perfect for the summer. It's just this pop of bright, again, like bubblegum Barbie pink. And I love these formulations. Their bronzing stick is absolutely one of my favorites. I wore that yesterday as well. I love Persona Cosmetics and these are a hit. So definitely check them out, especially if you like multi-use products where you can pop a little bit on your cheeks, pop a little bit on your lips, have a monochromatic look, and you're ready to go. This is the bronzer of choice this month. I have been using it pretty much every single day, and it's not a bronzer per se, but this is the Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation from MAC Cosmetics, and this is in the shade NC45. So this is what I have on my skin today. It's what I've had on my skin probably in almost every other video, unless I'm specifically showcasing a different bronzer. It's a warm tone, but still not overly orange product. It just looks so good as a bronzer. And because it's actually a powder foundation, I find that it blends even better than most bronzing products. It is really good if you stipple it in. I've been loving to use my large bronzer brush from Sigma that I showcased in last month's favorites. And I just kind of stipple it in and just kind of tap it on and it just blends itself. It's flawless. I love it so much. When you look at it in the pan, it's very similar to the eyeshadow in Uninterrupted, which if you have ever seen that with MAC or Bobbi Brown Camel, it kind of has that like almost mustardy undertone, which doesn't look all that great in the pan, but there's something about how it applies on the eyes and the face. It's just so pretty. So this is also really pretty as an eyeshadow. I find a lot of these powder foundations are. In fact, I have C6 in my kit and I use that quite often as a transition crease shade on my clients. So I have been absolutely loving this NC45 Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. And then finally for makeup, I have to talk about these new 7-pan palettes from Sigma. Now I swatched all of them on my Instagram. Do not fret if you do not have Instagram. Click that link down in the description box and it will still show you the post. So you are able to see all of the swatches, whether you have an account or not. But they came out with smaller 7-pan mini palettes, which are the smaller versions of their larger palettes, which I have also been loving so much. I honestly have worn these 75% of the month. They are so easy to use. The formula is amazing. So as an example, this is the large palette of the Ambiance. Okay, so it comes, the larger palettes do have 14 shades and a dual-sided brush. So you have like a more flat top brush for the lid, and then you have a crease brush. So that is what's included in the larger palettes. But then if you wanted to get the mini palette of the Ambiance, it takes 7 of the more popular shades from the large one and puts that in a palette. So you can see, it's very, very similar. Obviously, they're the same colors. It's just not as big. It's good, in my opinion, for people who are a little more intimidated with palettes in general because there's so many options, they don't know where to start. This is a little bit, obviously, bigger than a quad or a quint. You're going to have a little bit more options, but it's still not going to be super overwhelming. So they do have 4. They have the Ambiance, the Cardamom. Okay, so this is the Cardamom Mini. This is the Cardamom Large. You can see still really, really good shades from the larger palette that they chose for the Mini. This is gonna be more of your like rose golds, burgundies, cooler tone, peachy type shades. There's Enchanted, which is gonna be more along your pinks and purples, very pretty, and warm neutrals, which is what I have on my eyes today. So I took this color Rogue right here and I placed it all over my lid. And then I put Toasty in the crease, and then I put a little bit of Charmer on the top to add a little bit of shine. Very versatile palettes, very good for travel, very affordable. So I had to talk about those palettes in general because I truly have been using them nonstop. I will likely use another one in my next video where I'm going to be getting ready to show you the versatility of them, the pigment, and I'm telling you the formula, I don't remember what it was. I guess it was my last video where I talked about the Moira Beauty, and I was not a fan of that eyeshadow palette, and I wore it obviously throughout that day that I filmed, and probably about halfway throughout the day I looked in the mirror and I couldn't see much pigment left on my eyes. The pigment was just gone. It had worn off fairly quickly. And that is not the case for these at all. I love them so much, it's very hard for me to put them in my kit, but I'm contemplating getting more for my kit because this is likely one of the longest lasting formulas as far as eyeshadow goes that I have in my collection. You can put this on, especially the shimmers, and then 12 to 14 hours later, go to wash your face and they're still just as vibrant, just as much there as when you first applied them. So I feel like other than the variety, the affordability, and the colors, the actual formula can't be beat when it comes to longevity. Okay, that's all the makeup. Let's go into a few fragrance favorites for me. I also have a signature scent fragrance video coming up for y'all in the next week or so. I've already filmed that, so I didn't want to include too many of the ones that I have been wearing from that because again, I didn't want to be repetitive. But I do have a few that I have been loving that aren't in that video. This one definitely could be though. This is the Armani My Way Intense. So I have a small travel spray of the original My Way. I went into Ulta beginning of the month, was with my girls. We were spraying perfume as we do, saying, oh, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And I loved the Intense version, even more than the original. There's something about it that just is amped up, as would make sense considering it is called Intense. The Armani My Way line is definitely tuberose forward. I'm a big fan of tuberose. I love it. I feel like you either love it or you don't, but it is a very heady white floral. It can sometimes be a little bit creamy. It can sometimes be described as bubblegummy because it does have that kind of undertone to it, more so in some fragrances than not. And I do find that My Way is more of the bubblegummy tuberose This one is Orange Blossom and Bitter Orange on the top, Indian Tuberose and Tuberose in the middle, and then Madagascar Vanilla and Sandalwood on the dry down. This is not the longest lasting perfume in my collection, but I do get a solid 4 to 5 hours out of it, and it just feels very feminine to me. I just love Tuberose so much. So if you are in Ulta or anywhere that has the Armani My Way, give it a sniff. This is the intense version. I like the original too, but I have really been enjoying using this month because I do feel like it is a year-round fragrance, but I get more use out of the My Way line in spring and summer. And then I talked about these in my PM skincare video, which might sound a little weird considering that was skincare and this is fragrance. But I do tend to use these at night a lot, but I have grown my collection so much that I find that I use these a lot for layering, and they are the Oil Perfumery fragrance oils. So Oil Perfumery is, I believe they're a Canadian line, and they have so many options of fragrance interpretations of well-known fragrances in an oil form. They also have different sizes. I only have the Rollerball, which I believe these are 10 mils, but I have like 23 of these. I love them so much. And what I love them for the most is for layering. So if I fall in love with a fragrance that I have, I will go to Oil Perfumery to see if they have the interpretation of that fragrance in an oil form, and I will purchase it so that I can put the oil on first, then spray the fragrance on, and it really increases the longevity without changing the scent because it's really spot on. Like I do feel like these are very, 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 very similar. Sometimes you can't tell them apart at all from the original fragrance. So these two are the ones I feel like I've been using the most this month. This one is the impression of Jo Malone, Mimosa, and Cardamom. I like Jo Malone fragrances for their scent. I don't like their lasting power. I mean, I might get 30 minutes out of them and they're gone. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. There are a select few I have heard that say they last a very long time on them. I am not one of them. I just can't get any lasting power and they're very expensive. So I like to get these, and I don't necessarily layer them with the Jo Malone fragrance because I don't have many of them. But this one in particular, I have been layering a lot with the Zara Boldly Soul, which was in my last month's favorites video because that is a mimosa forward. And what's funny is that Jo Malone actually was the perfumer behind Boldly Soul for Zara. So I do feel like they are very similar and they layer wonderfully. So I love that so much because it really helps that Boldly Soul stay longer because that one's not super long lasting on me either. Definitely more so than Jo Malone, but it's not, you know, this like powerhouse. Now, another one that I have is the impression of Xerjoff's Italica. Now, as a whole, I don't get a ton of longevity with Xerjoff fragrances either. And I do believe I'm in the minority for that because when I see other people talk about them, you know, they say they're powerhouses, they're beast mode, they last all day. I don't get that. Now, I do have the Commandante, which I've talked about a lot. Love. It's probably my favorite Xerjoff in the entire line. And I get a good longevity out of that one. But this is the Italica, which is one of the most known gourmands in the not only Xerjoff line, but I feel like in general, very, 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 very sweet. It's a milky almond, toffee, vanilla fragrance, super sweet, a little bit lactonic, which is milky, which just gives it this like creamy sensation. I have been loving this one after I get out of the shower at night. It's just so comforting and sweet and love it so much. It definitely can layer with some of my gourmands easily, but I like this one a lot by itself. It's very strong. It emits really nicely for a very long time as an oil all by itself. Now, the one I have on today is the Jo Malone impression of Tuberose Angelica, and I have this one layered with the Elie Saab Essence No. 9 Tuberose. Again, I'm a Tuberose lover. So that's kind of the layer situation that I have on today. But I really suggest looking into that. Even if you don't have the original perfumes to layer, just look into them as very affordable dupes for very popular scents. So that wraps up my favorites for the month of June. As always, I want to know what your favorites were. Let us know down in the comment section below. I will have everything listed and linked in the description box. I do use affiliate links. I do have some affiliate codes. If you choose to use them, I appreciate it for supporting my channel. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.